Hey guys, it's January the 13th, 2025, and I hope everybody's been having a great day so far. I hope everybody had a wonderful weekend this past weekend. I was extremely busy this past weekend, just trying to hang out with the family and get a bunch of little projects done around the house that I've been meaning to get done before I leave to have my procedure this week. Like I said, I'm leaving on Wednesday, about midday, to head down to Charleston. My mom's going to be taking me down there. And we're going to spend the night, have some nice dinner somewhere in Charleston. And I got to get up the next morning and have my procedure. Luckily, this time, my procedure's not like super duper early in the morning. Although I like for it to be early, it will give me a chance just to kind of, I don't have to rush. I can take my time getting ready that morning. My mom can get some breakfast before we have to head over to the hospital. My procedure, I have to be at the hospital at 10, and my procedure's at 10:30, which I would imagine is probably going to take a majority of the day once I get over there. He said that we're looking at somewhere around like an hour and a half, 2 hours for each thing that he's going to be doing. And depending on the amount of time that he has left, he said, he's going to shoot some contrast down into where those stents are located, those last two that he placed in my liver. He's going to be shooting some contrast in there and taking a look at the flow. And he said, if I have enough time and I feel like I need to go in there and clear that out, I'll be doing that as well. I'm hoping that everything's okay with the flow and there's no clotting going on in there. And he just has to do these two things that he's going to be doing. And for anybody who doesn't know, I have to have, I've got a lot of splenic varices that have come back. They had they almost disappeared not too long ago, but somewhere in there's an issue, and it's causing, he said that my spleen is trying to compensate for the other half that had the blood supply cut off, so it's like it's enlarged again. I don't know if it's like one side or what's going on with it. I haven't looked at the CAT scans. He didn't show me. I don't ever like to look at that kind of stuff. It's just not something, I just don't want to see the insides of myself. I just don't. I've never looked at the stents. I've never looked at the tips or any of that. I just don't like looking at it. My wife will look at all of my MRIs and CAT scans and all that good stuff. I just don't look at it. It just kind of creeps me out. It's just weird to me. And that's just me. One of the reasons why I did not go into the medical field, although majority of my family are in the medical field. I've got doctors in my family and a bunch of people in nursing, and it's not for me. It never was, never will be. But, it is what it is. So, like I said, they've got to go in there, and I guess they're going to be moving the blood flow from my spleen to somewhere else. And then I have that pseudoaneurysm in my liver that he had been keeping track of. He had marked it on, I guess, a couple of my CAT scans, but he said it had grown by 1 centimeter in diameter since the last time I'd had my CAT scans done. And now he needs to go in there and cauterize that artery in my liver. I'm hoping that there's no complications. Now, I do have a feeling that it's going to be a really painful procedure, because when they cut off the blood supply to my spleen back in January of 2023, that was the most painful thing I've ever dealt with, ever. And I have a feeling it's probably going to be pretty painful. When I spoke with the nurse, when they went to set up my procedure, she said that I wasn't going to be, probably one night, but that's about it. And I have a feeling it's probably going to be at least two. Just because my surgery is so late in the day, and I'm sure they're probably going to want to get at least like 24 hours of observation, make sure I'm not having any bleeding, because I have had problems in the past, bleeding in my liver. As a matter of fact, when they placed the second tips back in June of 2023, they had to stop the bleeding in there. So I would just imagine they're going to want to keep a close eye on it. And I've been having a lot of pain in my spleen here lately too. It's just a really sharp pain that I just keep getting over and over again. It'll come and go, and it doesn't stay for a very long period of time, but it happens frequently throughout the day as I go throughout my day. And another thing as well is that if I lay down in the bed, I can feel that my spleen is becoming enlarged again. If I place my hand down there and just kind of feel around, I can feel it, which was not the case for quite some time. I couldn't feel it after they had cut the blood supply off and it shrunk. Before that, I could feel it. When I laid in my bed and kind of rubbed in that area, I could feel that my spleen was really swollen. And it was one of those things that I didn't say anything to anybody about. And that's what I wanted to talk about today is, if you're having some kind of an issue, no matter what it is, medically, don't be afraid to go to your doctor and say, I'm having a problem. Especially if you've been drinking for a long period of time and drinking a lot. If you notice anything, go to your doctor and speak to them. I cannot stress how important it is. And I know it's something that it's scary. We don't like going to the doctor. We don't want to get bad news. We don't want to hear that we have to stop drinking. We don't want to be honest with the doctor because we're embarrassed about how much we've been consuming every single day. And, we don't want to go in there and say, hey, doc, by the way, I've been drinking a case of beer every single day plus liquor. I think there's something going on with me. And, we think that our doctor's going to be like, well, of course there's something wrong with you. You're drinking this much, and we think they're going to scream at us and holler at us and give us a hard time. And that's not the case. Now, I'm not saying that the doctors might not, say, hey, you're drinking way too much. And I'm not going to sit here and promise you that your doctor is not going to give you a hard time, because they might. I'm not going to say either way if I think that's a good or a bad thing. But at the end of the day, we need to be honest with our doctors when we go. And if we know that something's going on, if we can tell that something is happening inside of us, you're getting a pain in your liver. You're getting pains in your shoulder right here on your right-hand side. If you're getting pains, like sharp pains, they're like shooting down and it's to the point where it feels like somebody stabbed you in your shoulder right here, and you're like grabbing hold of it, and it lasts for a few minutes, or you're getting sharp pains in your liver, dull pains in your liver. You can feel your liver is there, which is something that I dealt with for years. I could lay in the bed and push down on my liver, and it was hard, and it was protruding. I could feel on the left-hand side, and I could push down, below my rib cage, but on the right side, I could not do that. I was having that going on. I was having hypoglycemia all the time. Low blood sugar. I'd get the shakes really bad. I just had all of these things happening. I was noticing that there was blood in my stool. I'd go to the bathroom and there'd be blood in the toilet. And I didn't say anything to anybody. And I refused to go to the doctor. I did not want to go. It was just something I was way too afraid to do. And I think one of my biggest fears is that they were going to tell me I had to stop drinking. I just did not want to hear that. I had this idea in my head that I could fix it. There's always this idea in my head that I was the one that was going to fix this. And it just never worked out. I couldn't fix it. I was so far deep in the bottle, I did not know how to get my way out of it. And I tried. I tried so many times, and I just couldn't. And the thing is that, I was having neuropathy in my feet, neuropathy in my hands. My vision was starting to go. I had even told my wife, because I started losing weight before I got really, really sick. I had lost 50 pounds. I was about 245, 250. And I had gotten down to about 195, 190, which was a lot of weight for me. My pants started to fall off. My clothes were starting to get baggy. I told my wife, I said, I'm losing weight and I haven't changed anything. And I was still drinking like crazy. And I told her, I wonder if I'm getting diabetes, because I knew I had a friend of mine when I was in high school that got diabetes and lost a lot of weight. And that's how they figured out that he had it. And I told my wife, I said, I wonder if I'm getting diabetes because I'm losing all this weight and I haven't changed anything. Didn't see a doctor. Like I said, I was having hypoglycemia. Didn't see a doctor. I was having gout in my feet. My feet would get so swollen and they would hurt so bad that I couldn't even put shoes on Didn't see a doctor. Well, I actually did see a doctor, and they did a blood test, and they found out that my uric acid level in my body was elevated. They told me I had gout, and they gave me methylprednisone, and then I kept getting gout. And after that, I would just call the doctor's office and say I got another gout attack, and they just sent me in a prescription for methylprednisone. I tried to do everything I could virtually. If I needed to see a doctor, I wanted to do it virtually because I didn't want to go into the doctor's office because my blood pressure was through the roof. Every time I went to the doctor, my blood pressure was super high. And every time I would go, they would say, you need to leave here and go to the emergency room because your blood pressure is so high right now. Never went. I was throwing up every single day. I was throwing up black coffee grinds from time to time and didn't know what it was. And then towards the end, when I really got sick, I threw up black coffee grinds for like 4 or 5 days straight. But it happened here and there from time to time, and I thought that it was just because I was drinking like Coca-Cola or something, and that's what I was throwing up. I was bleeding internally, and I just never said anything to anybody. I had diarrhea every single day. You know, I would be on the toilet for hours daily, and like I said, there was blood in the toilet. I didn't say anything to anybody, and I'm sorry if this is gross, guys, but I'm just being 100% real with you and trying to express all the things that were wrong with me and that I never went to the doctor. And if you're having any of these things going on with you, any of these symptoms, please go see a doctor. Don't be like me and wait until it's too late. You know, the thing is that if you find out that you have fatty liver, that can be turned around. You can reverse it with proper diet, exercise, and stopping drinking. You can reverse that fatty liver and get your liver health back. You know, the thing with liver health is that once you lose it, it's gone. Once you get to the point where you have cirrhosis, there's no coming back from that. But if you have fatty liver, you can turn that back around. And our liver is the only organ that we have that can regenerate itself. So, you know, your liver can take a pretty hefty beating, and you can turn it back around. Now, I'm not saying that you're going to get your liver health 100% completely back again, but you can get it back to a point where you can live for a very long time. And it all depends on, you know, how much damage that you've caused to your liver. That's why I think it's important for us to know. It's important for us to go ahead and go to the doctor and just get that simple blood test done. And once you have that blood test done, they can, you know, determine if you're having issues. That might be the turning point where they go, you've got to stop drinking. And you make that decision right there. Okay, this is it. I want to continue to live the rest of my life and not go out like this. You could stop and turn it all around, change it. But the point of today's video is that, like I said, don't be like me. If you're starting to have any kind of symptoms going on, and it doesn't necessarily even have to be alcohol-related illnesses. It could be anything. If you're noticing something strange is going on with your body that's not normal to you, just go see a doctor. I know that going to see a doctor is just, it's scary. And not only is it scary, but it costs money. And if you don't have health insurance, I get it. But, I mean, you know, the most you might pay out of pocket might be like $200 to go see a doctor. You know, maybe another $100 to have your lab work done. You know, we're talking about maybe $300 for you to determine if you're having some serious issues. They might want you to go have an MRI or a CAT scan done or something like that. And it might end up being maybe a couple $1,000s at the end of the day. But, you know, that's an investment, and the return on it, you know, you can figure out, you know, am I healthy or am I not? Have I caused irreversible damage or not? Is there something that I can do to fix this? And like I said, it doesn't necessarily have to be alcohol related. You know, you might be noticing something is going on with your body, and it might be the C word. You know, that's one of those things that you need to find out, you know, before it gets too late, because once it starts to spread through your body, you know, it can be entirely too late at that point. And that's why going to seeing your doctor, and just having any of those things checked out, you know, I think that at least going and having an annual physical is a great idea. I didn't have a physical done from the time I was like 18 years old or 19 years old until I was 40, 3 years old. It was a year after I'd gotten sick. I had my first real physical I'd ever had in my entire life, except for when I was younger. And the only reason I had a physical back then is because I was thinking about going into the military. I was about to join the Marine Corps. And I went and, went through all those physical examinations that I had to do for the military. And I changed my mind at the last minute and didn't go. I just didn't think it was right for me. My brother ended up going into the military, and he loved it. It was just one of those things. And there was a lot more going on, my wife and all that kind of stuff. I wanted to stay. And my hat goes off to anybody out there who served in the military. It was just one of those things. I don't know if I was cut out for that. It takes a certain type of person to be able to do that kind of stuff. And, I don't know if I was, really cut out for that kind of thing. I just don't know if I'm tough enough for the military. And that's just the honest to God truth. So once again, my hat goes off to any of you guys who have served in the military, no matter what branch. I just couldn't do it. But, back to what I was saying, I didn't have a physical exam done from the time I was 18, 19 years old until I was 43 years old. And that's a long time. If I had just gone and had a physical done, that might have addressed it. They might have caught this earlier. My doctor might have said, you've got to stop or else. And maybe I would have made the right decision, or maybe I wouldn't have. I don't know. There's really no way for me to know now. All I know is that I almost lost my life, and then that's what forced me into stopping. And I haven't looked back since. Have I thought about it? Absolutely. Have I acted on those thoughts? No. But it's what finally pushed me to say enough's enough, and I have to get sober. And like I said, the point of today's video is that no matter what's going on, if you're having headaches all the time, go see your doctor. If your vision's going bad, go see your doctor. If you're having problems with your ears, or you're having problems with your feet, whatever it is, just go see your doctor and make sure there's not some underlying cause, because there's so many things that look like it might be this, but it's a symptom of this. And getting on Google and trying to figure out what's going on with yourself, you're trying to get on Google, Dr. Google, and you type in a couple of symptoms, and Dr. Google says to do this, or this is what it is. And I just don't think that's a great idea. I think the best option is to go see a real doctor. For one, Dr. Google can't do blood work on you, and just by simple blood work, they can decipher a lot of stuff through that. I had somebody ask me in the comments if I could do a video on deciphering your blood work, and I'm going to talk about that either tomorrow or the next day. Like I said, I am leaving on Wednesday, but I still am going to do a video and all that stuff, and I'm going to break that down for you guys so that you'll understand what you're looking at when you get those lab results back. But once again, guys, I'm gonna go ahead and hop off of here for today. But whatever it is that's going on with you, I just think that is so important just to go see a doctor and just find out what's going on. I know it's scary. I know. I did not ever want to go see a doctor. It scared me so bad. My anxiety would be so bad when I had to go see a doctor. And I would drink before I went to the doctor, and then eat a bunch of mints hoping that they didn't smell it on me, which I'm sure they probably did. They just didn't say anything to me. But, I would go to the doctor only when it was just like a dire emergency and I couldn't deal with whatever was going on with me anymore. Let's say I had like bronchitis or walking pneumonia or something like that. I would finally go to the doctor after I'd been dealing with it for weeks. And, I was so afraid to go to the doctor, and I've talked about this before, but I was actually about to order fish antibiotics off the internet. They sell fish antibiotics online, and they say it's 4 fish tanks. I have a feeling that it's for people who just want to take amoxicillin and don't want to go see a doctor or can't afford to go see a doctor or whatever it is. And I almost ordered it because it was like 500 milligram amoxicillin tablets. And I was really close one time. I was very, very sick, and I was so afraid of going to the doctor. I just didn't want to go, and eventually I ended up going and getting real antibiotics opposed to doing that, because I started sitting there looking at it, and I was like, these are going to be like $60 to order these. My copay to go to the doctor is like $20, and I finally just sucked it up and went, and nothing came of it because I ended up getting sick. But I just can't stress how important I think it is that if you're experiencing any kind of symptoms or anything, just go see a doctor. I think that prevention and being proactive with this kind of stuff, I can't stress how important that I think that it is. And, like I said, I understand it's not the most comfortable thing to do, and it's not what we want to do. But think about all the people that love you in this world. Think about your family and your friends and the things that you still want to do in this world. And yeah, it might cost a little bit of money, but I can guarantee you this. What you're going to pay being proactive with this, yeah, it might be, let's say, max a couple grand. That little bit of money that you're going to spend on being proactive is so far going to trump the amount of money that you will spend on the back end if you wait until it's too late, and then you're going to the emergency room at 3 o'clock in the morning and you're spending 2 or 3 weeks in the hospital, or you're in a coma, and you've had to have multiple surgeries, and before you know it, you've got $1 million worth of hospital bills that you owe. A couple $1,000s max, $1 million worth of hospital bills. I mean, I don't have to sit here and explain any more about it. It's just, and I get it. Some people just don't have access. I completely understand that. But if you do have access and you have a way to go see a doctor, please just go see your doctor and just be proactive with it and don't become like me. So, guys, I'm going to go ahead and hop off of here for today. My camera's about to die. Thank you so much for watching. And like I said, I'll be back tomorrow with another video. I hope you guys have a great rest of your night. Please just talk to your doctor if you're having anything going on with you, and just let them find out what's going on. So, guys, I love you all so much. And until tomorrow, I will see y'all then.